Hey friends, we are gonna dive into another silver video. This is flatware. I recently acquired a pretty big bag of it from a source, and I also had a few other pieces that had stray picked up. And I wanted to do a little bit of a kind of dive into it because it's sometimes hard to identify, and I'm still learning that sometimes you can be easily fooled. So just to kind of go over this, flatware is if it's plated, unless the pattern's somehow collectible or in demand, it's going to be just worth the base metal. So it could be stainless steel, or I don't know much else really. Honestly, it's not worth your time. There's no silver recovery unless you're doing huge, massive quantities of it. So I don't think many people will buy for the silver. So what I'm talking about is we're looking for sterling silver. And sterling silver is 92.5% silver and is commonly used in high-end silver. So first thing you want to do if you've got a set of pieces that you're concerned about is your magnet is always your best friend. So you stick to it, uh-oh, we got one that we're sticking to. And on knives in particular, don't worry about the top. The blade is, unless it's a butter knife, the blade will almost always be stainless, and it'll say that. So in this case, the handles are what we're worried about. So this one is magnetic. So this right here, even though it looks very, very similar to a silver piece with the tarnishing that was made into it, this is 100% steel, magnetic steel, so it's not even good steel. This is junk. So that goes right into scrap metal. So there's nothing that we can do about that. This one does not stick. It sticks to the blade, of course, but the base doesn't stick. However, a couple things on this that clue me in that it's probably not worth the time is just the make of it. It's not really staining at all. And it's just got a very uniform coloring all the way up and down. So it's probably stainless steel or non-magnetic stainless steel in the base, or it could be like a pot metal or something. So there's a way to quickly test for any of these to see if this is something that is worth doing. And what we do is we do our scratch test on that, and this is 18 karat gold acid on a regular scratching stone. I will put a little there, and what is not happening is it's not eating away that at all and not turning blue. So again, you may know from the last video, we want that to turn to a bright blue. And then what is happening is nothing's happening. So this tells me it's not even a brass or a copper base. It's not getting eaten away at all. So odds are it's aluminum or steel. I don't remember what doesn't get eaten away by the acid, but this again there's nothing to this. This is no value whatsoever. So we've now pulled out the pieces that we don't believe have any value fairly easily. The magnet can tell you right away. So now we have 4 pieces that we want to do a little more research on. These two are very similar in pattern. They're different sizes, and I want you to look on the blade. One thing to look for is on the blade. Now, the blade says stainless on this one, but this piece is definitely not stainless unless it's non-magnetic stainless. This piece is different. This one says stainless blade, sterling handle. So we now know that this is a sterling handle. It could be hollow, it could be solid. They're generally not solid, but this feels like it's pretty good weight. So, I mean, this is a Gorham piece. It's a very nice piece. It's a pattern that's in demand. I've learned. So we know that we have a knife here that has a sterling handle and a stainless blade. This one, we don't know. I strongly suspect it, based on the look. It actually came with the set that I bought. So the person had a couple of this type of knife and a couple of the similar looking type of knife. So I don't know if they bought them at different times or they weren't trying to match the pattern. Doesn't say Gorham on it. It's very, very similar in terms of the look, but the sizing is not the same. So I don't know if it's a later production. It doesn't say Gorham on it, so that's telling me maybe it's a knockoff of it. Another place you can sometimes find a marking on it is along the side here. And there could be a little sterling writing that says sterling on the sides. There's nothing like that. So we're going to scratch test this one. And we're going to do the same thing we did. Now, if it's a thick coat of electroplating, you want to not just do a quick test. You want to really rub it. You might take a little off, but the idea is you want to get past a little coating, so you're going to leave a little bit of a mark right here. But the idea is you're getting past the coating that is, electroplated silver. Sometimes it could be pretty thick. So what we want is see how that bright blue's coming out? That's what we're looking for. And again, this is 18 karat solution. It has eaten away a little bit of the impurities, and it leaves this really, really bright blue residue. And that's telling me that this is most likely silver. Could be a thick plate. So what I do is I have my refiner shoots it with an x-ray so he can tell the composition, and then they pay without the blade weight. So there's a calculation they basically do to take off the blade weight, or sometimes you could just break the blade off if you're just selling it for scrap. Since this is an unnamed brand, I have no way of knowing if it was part of the Gorham or not, even though it looks like it. I'm not going to try to sell it as a part of that set, so this will get scrapped. All right, so we now know the knives, the tricks to get after the knife. How about, what do we do with the flatware itself? So the look and the feel of silver is something you just gotta kind of develop a knowledge of. See how it's kind of dark? The left is like a different color than like a stainless steel piece. You've got some discoloration starting, it can be polished off, but that older, you're looking for that in the pile. So the first thing you want to do is you want to sort these out, or you want to hit them with magnets and sort all the ones that aren't magnetic. And then look for this aged look. Then we look over and we flip it over. So I'm going to zoom in here, and let me just zoom a little bit more so we can get a better view. So it says Gorham there. We have a mark of some sort up top here. And then the key piece is, it says sterling. And that sterling is sometimes hard to read. So a lot of times it'll get missed. There's nothing else along here. I'll show you on another one where it has something slightly different. But that sterling is telling you that this piece is made out of sterling. Now, obviously, there could be fakes out there. I'm not saying that. I am not versed on how often this stuff is faked. But coins are faked. I'm sure silverware can be faked with the plating and stuff. But just based on the weight, and again, doing a scratch test or knowing where this kind of came from, I think we're in pretty good shape with that one. And the final piece is not part of the set. It came with them, but there were some oddball ones that were in there. Had some slightly different markings, so I wanted to pull it out. This one actually is monogrammed. Monogramming actually is a hard thing to sell unless you can find someone that needs the same monogram. So generally, if it's already been monogrammed, even if it's a collectible piece, it's going to really lower the demand for the item. So the minute you see a monogram, don't think that that's going to add any value to it. It actually is going to detract from it somewhat. All right, so I'm going to zoom back in here again. We've got some writing on here. This one, again, it was a little harder to identify. We have a different hallmark here. When I was looking at it in the store, I just lost it. Just focused on the background. Let me try to get the camera focused back on my finger here. There we go. All right. So it just says sterling. You can just make it out. The ING, I caught it on one of the spoons. And then there's another little hallmark, R, which I think is a Rogers, and then a patent number. So this one, I'm not surprised they missed it. It was hard to read it. There you go. There you can see it, sterling. It's very difficult to see it. There's no other markings on it anywhere. There's that monogram that was done to it, and I had a set of like 4 or 5 of them that were monogrammed like this. So this is another. It's a light sterling piece. I mean, this is. And I'm gonna weigh it real quick for you so you can get an idea. So remember, silver's light, does not weigh very much, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it on the camera. Oops, unspecified, unsafe. There we go. All right, and this was weighing at 18.2 grams, so that's about $10 or so, I think. I'm remember 16.8 grams, sorry, of silver, of 925 silver. So if you throw it into a silver calculator, online silver calculator like Coinflation, there's a bunch of them. Just do silver online silver scrap calculator. You could pick the percentage, so you want to put 925 in there, or sterling if it's an option. You want to put in the gram weight, and then there'll usually be a spread. So the spread is like say 10%. It's gonna tell you 10% low, 10% higher than the cost. It'll automatically pull the silver ounce pricing and calculate it in there for you. But the spread is like what your buyer will take. So if let's say your buyer takes 20% off the top, then you want to plug in that 20%, so you have a good idea what they're going to be willing to pay you for something. And obviously, the more you have, the more negotiating power you have to do it. Well, that's what I got today. Hopefully, you found this helpful. It's always fun to do these. So if you have a question or something, feel free to ask. I'm not an expert, but I play one on TV. Take care, everyone.